Don in London, hello, and it's June 15th, 2009. My video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour, and I'm late making this video today. I've started a course which is important to me. As these videos are about recovery, I need to include my story, the whole story, in fact the truth and nothing but the truth. So part of my recovery, if you like, 1 year into being in recovery from addiction to alcohol, I caught a virus and got type 1 diabetes, and that is the best explanation that people have for me. Type 1 diabetes is often something that people younger get, because it's either hereditary or there's something that happens in youth, and they become insulin dependent. So I'm an insulin dependent type 1 diabetic at the age of 50, now a bit older than that, 53 coming up, thereabouts, yeah. And I'm on a 1-week course how to manage my condition, or to deal with my condition on a daily basis in a much more effective way. And I have to say, it's been a real enlightenment. I'll talk about that more in a moment, but coming back to recovery matters. I haven't been to a meeting now for nearly 2 days, so I'm going tonight. It's important for me to go to meetings of AA, the fellowship that keeps me sober one day at a time, and it integrates into my family, domestic, community and society life. So what's the good news about recovery? It means on a daily basis we get to be a part of and included in society and what is going around, and sometimes included in family and community, depending on what we've done when we were drinking. Either we may be welcomed with open arms because we were fairly flaccid, or maybe we did a lot of things which exclude the opportunity to go back to where we were before. So there are big parts of my life which I had to give up as a consequence of something that happened before I became an alcoholic, and that was to do with my overall mental and emotional state. I was brought to my knees by depression and a nervous breakdown. So my story includes periods of sobriety, periods trying to find out what was wrong with me, and periods of just being absolutely exhausted and being in an anxiety state because I just didn't know how to get out of it. So I've learned a lot over the last 10 to 12 years. And for me, it's important that I find ways and means to keep on going, maybe just for today, and just enabling me to deal with life as it is, not as I might wish it to be, not as it was. So the big hurdles I had to overcome in recovery was trying not to do the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. That's the definition of insanity. Insanity is trying to do the same thing over and over again and getting no different result. So I try to be restored to sanity on a daily basis, and whatever sanity is, and maybe it's just having an outlook of being included and part of, and being able to relate to what is going on. So I'm very lucky, and today I feel absolutely knackered after doing this first day of the course, which is not surprising. Different environment with people like me, and the similarity in the, I suppose, integration and understanding of my condition has gone ahead leaps and bounds, because although many people go and have treatment for type 1 diabetes, not many people actually sit with other people and talk about it. So the beauty of this course is we're learning from each other, and also learning from the experts who know the medical, I suppose, the prognosis, the science of it, and we humans are then dealing with the emotional turmoil these sorts of things can cause. So my video really, it includes what is AA about, and the fellowship of AA. There are many meetings in London, 720 a week, and at the beginning of each meeting the preamble is shared, and it really explains what the fellowship does for people and what it doesn't do. Remember, it's a fellowship, please, not an organisation, not something which will fix you, and it doesn't have a customer service department. Yeah. I don't think God's got a customer service department either, unless it's called the universe. So, and I'm not being glib and taking shots when I say that. It's just an amusing remark. It's not meant to undermine anybody else's belief. So there we go. AA, this preamble, goes like this. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And sobriety for me, I suppose if you want to have some measures about what is sobriety, is our emotional, spiritual and physical condition. How do we measure up on a daily basis to making the best of what is rather than wishing it were different? And for me, I'm learning every day. It's just one day, all this stuff. And I want to share and include these readings from the Daily Reflections, which is a literature piece. Daily Reflections is a 12-month, one-a-day page where you can get some reflection, if you like, on what is happening and what might be happening in your life. And 12 months, 12 steps of action for individuals, and 12 traditions which hold the fellowship together. So 6th month, 6th step is all about removing defects of character, or having them removed by God or good conscience or a power greater than ourselves. So it says here for June 15th, making AA your higher power. And the reason for doing this is just to right-size ourselves. It's not to put ourselves under the thumb of anything or anybody. It's to understand our relationship of equality, possibly, to the rest of humanity. And it goes to say this: you can make AA itself your higher power. Here's a very large group of people who have solved their alcohol problem. Many members have crossed the threshold just this way. Their faith had broadened and deepened, transformed, they came to believe in a higher power. And you know, the spirits, the human spirits, in combination today in a diabetic clinic, 6 people talking about the same thing. The power was greater than me, simply because the wisdom, the collective wisdom there, is far greater than I ever had. And I've learned a lot in a very short space of time. Anyway, it goes on to say here, June 15th, no one was greater than I, at least in my eyes, when I was drinking. Nevertheless, I couldn't smile at myself in the mirror, so I came to AA, where, with others, I heard talk of a higher power. I couldn't accept the concept of a higher power, because I believed God was cruel and unloving. In desperation, I chose a table, a tree, then my AA group as my higher power. Time passed, my life improved, and I began to wonder about this higher power. Gradually, with patience, humility and a lot of questions, I came to believe in God. Now my relationship with my higher power gives me the strength to live a happy, sober life. And for me, believing in God is a personal choice, and it's unique and authentic to every individual. I like Gandhi, what he said: God is truth, the concept of truth, and God is love, the concept of love. And God works through people, the concept that we collectively learn more from each other, share wisdom and love each other. We're included in a part of life. And the opposite of that for me was drinking like crazy, clinically depressed, living in isolation, not included, and unloved by me most of all, and unlivable by other people. Anyway, coming on to as Bill sees it, and again it's a bit more like higher power stuff. So page 127, persistence in prayer. Now don't forget, prayer is just an exhortation to understand our human condition and where we are now and what may happen next. We often tend to slight serious meditation and prayer as something not really necessary. To be sure, we feel it is something that might help us to meet an occasional emergency, but at first many of us are apt to regard it as somewhat mysterious, the mysterious skill of clergymen, from which we may hope to get a second-hand benefit. In AA we have found that the actual good results of prayer are beyond question. They are matters of knowledge and experience. All those who have persisted have found strength not ordinarily their own. They have found wisdom beyond their usual capability, and they have increasingly found a peace of mind which can stand firm in the face of difficult circumstances. And you know what? Whether you go to AA for sobriety or you're going on a course where you can get some collective wisdom, the answer seems to be the same thing. There is a power greater than us in that room. And prayer and meditation is really an exhortation to the good of living, as much as anything else and whatever you believe in. And for me, when I use the word God, it's interchangeable with good conscience, truth, love, and wisdom from other people. And the serenity prayer is, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. It simply is just for today, and that is the greatest gift given. That is understanding the human condition and being a part of it, just for today.